Before the audio starts, I would like you all to have a premise of kind of what I'm doing here. I talk about it during the walk, but I'm doing these long walks in the morning, and what I've done is I've gotten a cheaper microphone to talk while doing them. I go on kind of some motivational talks that are really all over the place. I ramble a lot. If you've ever listened to my content before, I do that pretty often. But cut me a little slack because some of the topics get a little silly. I really came into this unprepared on purpose to kind of just show what my walk's like when my brain is focusing on walking and talking and just having a good morning. So I appreciate it. Enjoy the listen. I cut it down from about an hour and 40 minutes down to an hour and 15 minutes. So not terrible. I wish you luck. Have a good one.
Good morning. Today is June 18th. It's a Tuesday. Currently got a little bit of wind. It's already about 74, 75 degrees. But with the wind, feels probably like a 70 degree morning. Not too bad. 5:30 a.m. I've been walking for about 5-6 minutes already. Taking the opportunity to kind of gather myself this morning. I took an hour and a half nap for this walk. I seriously need to get sleep after this walk, real bad. Real bad. I think I'll be able to. My grandmother and grandfather are supposed to go to some appointments early in the morning, so it shouldn't be that bad. Sorry for the audio today, though, maybe, with the wind. We do have genuinely like 10 miles per hour wind pretty consistently. It seems to be kind of weird. It's just one of those days where you're just constantly feeling a gust. Honestly feels great, but that doesn't mean it's good for audio. But I've been walking only for like 5-10 minutes, like I said. Haven't seen one person. First person I see, giant black German Shepherd. Absolutely adorable. I've seen her quite a few times now. Don't know anyone by name yet. Don't really have everyone down packed, but I definitely have seen quite a few people. Today marks day 7 of walking every day in a row. And I think this will be the audio, and I'm hoping to just chuck up unedited. Maybe I'll cut out some of the blank spots, gather myself, and times where I'm just kind of shutting up, which I know it doesn't happen too often now, hey. But it's supposed to be a really hot day today. It's supposed to hit 91. And with humidity, I wouldn't be surprised if it felt like 100 later today. I have my AC already fully blasted. My room's freezing cold, like a 65 degrees or something like that. I know that doesn't sound too cold, but when you shut the door and it's just you in there, no computer on, just the AC, I mean, fuck, man. It is chilly. It's chilly. It was nice. I don't know if any of you do this where you'll keep your room cooler, but have a nice warm blanket on. Yeah, that shit right there, man. Or, you know, a significant other. Whatever, either or. Both. But, so far so good. So, my hope today, so I want to minimum do my 3 miles, but I think I'm going to try to go further. I do need to get some sleep, though. It would not be harmful for me to not walk the full 6 miles today. We will see. 3 to 6 miles is my minimum. Morning.
Morning.
There's some more people there this morning. Feeling good. But my thought is, yeah, get out early. Try to beat this warm weather. So yesterday, I ended up going out at 6 a.m. Well, because I did the whole 6 miles, even with sitting down and everything, it took me a little over 2 hours. I stopped a couple times to gather my thoughts. And there's two particular parts where I actually sat down and like responded to a couple things. Just enjoyed nature. There's this really cool bench that's kind of near this bridge. Posted a photo yesterday of this swampy area. That bridge is really, really close to that bench. And just kind of hung out there, man. I mean, I can keep going. It's just a walk. I've gotten paced down to even like 16, 17 minutes per mile. When I'm feeling good, I'm just a walk. I'm not too worried about pacing. Not too worried about jogging it out. Not too worried about just, hitting. That's not my goal right now. It's not my goal. Will it? Absolutely. 100%. Walking this much, I would assume eventually, maybe that last mile or so, I'll think about maybe jogging in, maybe the last 2 miles. But for now, I'm doing this for enjoyment, man. Out here, it's made me feel better. Highly recommend. Highly encourage. You got 15 minutes to go walk, 30 minutes to go walk. Fuck it. Try it out. Seems stupid. And if you do a physical job and stuff like that too, seems, maybe even counterproductive, but seriously recommend, not just physically, but mentally, going out here staring at nature. And in my case, I thankfully get to yap to a microphone. That's kind of therapeutic too. But going out here and just staring at the nature, especially earlier morning right now, there's not a lot of cars out. I mean, there's probably been 20, 30 cars, but nothing crazy, But highly encourage. But I think I'm having like a mental shift in how I want to handle these. So I've been talking about recording these for the last 4 days. I think this will be my 4th day recorded. I kind of gave up on the 3rd day recording. So I was so tired, and I just wasn't hitting any topics, man. I don't know if you've ever had, or you can relate to this, but just couldn't perform, but genuinely though, I couldn't come up. I couldn't talk about anything and actually make solid points. And it's tougher when you're by yourself, I think, from my experience. No one's there to pick my brain other than myself. No one's there to provide commentary right then and there, obviously. But anyways, but the mental shift I'm referring to is, I think, just talk about something you enjoy. And, in my case, I don't know, whatever topic comes up next. Just talk about something I enjoy, and don't just yap to yap. And that sounds very dumb, maybe, but dude, the first 2 days, I swear I was talking almost the entire time. And obviously that's awesome, but I just stumbled over my words a bunch. So I'm still gonna do that. Obviously, for those who know me. Duh. But I guess I might as well just do the same intro I've done the last 2-3 days, and that's tell you what's going on. This is day 1 of actually probably posting these. Well, I decided about, I think it's 18 days ago, to start a diet. Well, it first started off as, hey, you're going to cook for yourself once a day. Typically, it'd be something easy, or microwaving something, or on rare occasion we'd go out to eat, whatever, right? Well, I decided every day I was going to make something. That literally, like, the next day turned into, you know what? Why don't you start dieting a bit? Now, I feel pretty confident. Myself, body image isn't too bad. I mean, shit, there's people out there that know what I look like, and I'm a VTuber. It's not like I'm the most hidden individual possible. I'm pretty transparent about a lot of things, which we'll talk about later, but so I decided to start dieting. Well, my goal with that is I determined roughly based on metabolic calculators online and just general like overview of my diets. I probably was eating about 2,500 calories a day, which some days with actual physical labor and stuff, that's fucking fine. And I'm at a caloric deficit. But with a lot of days also just streaming, there's obviously other days I gain weight. So it's not that I'm super unfit and I can't fucking move. It's that, hey, I just want to better myself, man. And coincidentally, seemingly benefiting a lot more than just me, but we'll see. I'm down. I didn't measure yesterday after eating. I measured before my fast, or after my fast, before breaking. So every Sunday, I'm trying to do a fast. I'm 2 in. Highly recommend a fast. Not gonna fucking pull the science card or be all Buddha on you, but I do recommend. Seriously recommend. But I was down 6.5 pounds exactly in about an official 2 weeks of dieting, but only 7 days walking. So pretty quick. Get mixed results on what I realistically want to lose a week. Doesn't really matter. Do whatever you want. Some days I'd eat only 1,000 calories. Other days I would get up to my 2,000, 2,500 threshold. My dieting goal is to eat at most 2,500 calories, but you don't fucking get to miss a day of walking, but you still get Sunday fast too. You still get to enjoy food. So today, technically, sort of yesterday, because my day schedule is really fucking weird, I did max out pretty close after my Sunday fast into Monday. Monday, officially in my book, I was at about 2,300 calories. And the reason that really came in, because the 1,000 calories I consumed at Culver's, which is a Wisconsin fast food chain. I was still able to enjoy myself. I got a single deluxe burger, so a single patty, and then I got a medium fry. And then for the drink, I went Coke Zero. So I had that option. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if this is all Culver's or what, but seriously, dude, I think they had 2 diet options on their fucking fountain machine. That's kind of crazy. And it was zero sugar Coke and diet root beer. I don't know. I don't know if I recall ever having a diet root beer, but whatever. Anyways, but so that's where I'm at. I was really, really hungry yesterday, which, to be fair, I did walk 6 miles in the morning, so I'm not upset at myself for getting right on that cusp. A, but B, sustainability-wise, man, you're gonna enjoy yourself. Now, again, I'm only a couple weeks in. You're going to hear me talk about this stuff. And it might sound like I've been doing it for longer. But I think I've really honed in on what I want long term. And I'm fairly confident with what I'm doing being sustainable and enjoyable. The walk thing, and why the walks come in, is I told myself I'm going to walk every day for 30 days. I'm going to go outside I walk on this fucking path, minimum 3 miles, 36 miles, whether I like it or not. So this morning, fucking tired, man. I won't lie to you. I won't lie. Fucking very, very tired still. Like I said, I got an hour and a half nap. I've slept probably about 8 hours and like 36 hours. Not ideal. Not ideal. But you know what? I'm doing it. Now, glad I can motivate myself to do that. It's not always easy. And there's other areas I failed. Like I said, pulling right on the cusp of where I want my diet to be at on a maximum doesn't feel great. But when I do the more important thing of walking right next to it, I can guarantee you and I can assure you, me walking 6 miles is going to take me way below my 2,300, 2,400 intake. But anyways, spiritually, mentally, health-wise, man, it's been really good. It's been really good. I've kind of yapped about it for a while. I'm sorry. I always kind of am overly cautious about like, yeah, man, sorry, I'm kind of repeating myself. I'm yapping. But realistically, and if you are in that position, you have heard all this, do think that there's always going to be, well, not always, but majority of the time there's going to be one person that's listening that hadn't heard it. And as a content creator, it's really weird. I've tried to like gather research in my head about how other bigger content creators do it. So there's like a Talk Up guy I've been watching a lot who ironically was doing walks. And I noticed he definitely gets to repeat himself too about self-promotion and like, you know, brand deals and like, yeah, no, you know, I did this, and make sure you check the Discord. And I don't think that's wrong to do. I'm sorry if you've heard it before, but you know, it is what it is. But anyways, so I've been feeling good. Morning. But so that's kind of what's going on. That's the gist of everything. Nothing happened recently that would make me want to do this. Nothing recently like scared me. I didn't like look in the mirror and think, wow, you need to fucking change. But at the same time, if that was the case, fuck yeah, man. I don't mind the idea of looking cuter. I don't mind the idea of feeling better. There's a TikTok creator named Chris Terrell. Chris Terrell. He looks like Tony Stark without his suit on. He looks like Iron Man. And he ended up saying something about weight loss journey. He talked about how he went from 290 pounds to, he's definitely in the hundreds, I want to say. And so he lost, it's got to be over 100 pounds. Well, he ended up talking about how his body felt like a prison during that stretch. That big, you know, his largest weight. And 290 pounds is a lot of weight, but that's not some sort of like crazy weight. I mean, obviously that's a large chunk of pounds. You're not supposed to be that heavy. But he's talking about how his body felt like a prison. He broke out of it. Now, I highly recommend you check him out if you do care about weight loss. A lot of what he talks about is that. He also talks a lot about motivation relating to it. I think he's literally like a weight loss counselor or something like that. I don't know. He does something very directly related to weight loss. But the prison comment is something I've actually started using in my life in general. And I don't remember if I won't take full claim, and I think maybe he kind of said this too, but the prison comment makes a lot of sense. It's a lot more than just weight. It could be your mental fortitude or your mental stance on things that are going on in your life. Morning. But so, what I mean by that is you could be imprisoning yourself with what's going on with your life. You having a bad mindset towards things and not being able to change that, or a more direct example is maybe like a relationship could be holding you back. And it doesn't have to be, significant other, but it could be a friend or what you do on a daily basis. Imprisoning yourself and stopping growth, or not making yourself better because of something that's changeable. There's a lot in life that's not changeable, but if you have a friend or significant other, if you are super depressed and it's a changeable experience, I don't know, it's tough to force yourself out of that, and I've been there. I'm sure I'll get there again. But seriously, like, the prison comment, it's kind of been a new metaphor or a new thing to think about a lot for me. I don't think my body's some sort of massive prison that's scaring me. However, maybe it is. I don't know. Feeling a lot better. I mean, I've only lost 6.5 pounds. I mean, that is a large amount of weight for some people. And honestly, it is pretty drastic in like 2 weeks, but in a humble meaning way, like, it does feel pretty satisfying. Do I look a fuck ton better somehow? No, probably not. And to really cover my bases, by the way, your weight is not the first thing I care about. It's very low on the list, in fact. Very low on the list. There's a lot of significant others I've had, and friends I have, and family I have, the larger or the smaller. I have both extremes in my life, and the last thing I care about is that, really, realistically. However, if you do need motivation towards that, and you want to do something like I'm doing, start something small, man. Start with maybe cooking something. Maybe start with dropping something. Maybe trying to switch over to just something a little bit better. Whether it's going to 0-calorie drinks, whether it's changing your orders up somewhere, maybe getting rid of fast food even just one time a week. But I'm not here to just talk about weight loss all the time. I'm just not. One, I'm not super qualified. And two, long term, who knows what'll happen. Sustainability, though, super duper important. Not just in weight loss, but in everything in life. If you can lock yourself in for a while and do something, that's great. It's fucking awesome. But doing it long term is more important. For instance, you feel like the job offer you got, promotion you got, is great. You have to work a lot harder. If you feel like it's sustainable, you feel like it's actually going to benefit you long term, go for it. I've seen a lot of times, including myself, that promotion ended up ruining that job for me. Switching to that job that paid more ruined it. Just not having fun. Some of my favorite moments in life: delivery driving, banking on tips, sometimes getting fucked over, sometimes not. But being able to be on a schedule that I enjoyed and with people I enjoyed felt a lot more sustainable than me working other more high-paying jobs necessarily, but most of the time, depends, sometimes delivery driving can be nice, but most of the time, $18 an hour job being offered and working that felt real damn good until I started fucking hating it, and honestly hating myself more and more. But again, that wasn't sustainable. I should have realized that. Now, it seems like some sort of excuse to, I don't know. Seems like some sort of excuse maybe to like justify doing actions, but seriously, sustainability is important. That's why in the weight loss journey here, I've given myself a big ball field, given myself plenty of opportunity. Oh no, I have to meal prep. I have to meal prep once every 4 days. Worth it, man. Not only does meal prepping that day get me physically up in the morning, cooking, being in the kitchen, seeing my brothers, seeing my mother go to work, you know, physically getting up, doing it, feels good. Just got to do it. Just got to keep on pace. Hopefully you can stick to it. I wanted to dedicate this walk to Calix VT and Thavi422. Calix came in today. Calix last night, or yesterday, I guess. I don't know what. I think it's the afternoon, but Calix wished me luck and said, hey, you've been doing a lot of walks. I appreciate it. Or, you know, I respect that and I see you're doing it. Good work. And that meant quite a bit. It meant quite a lot. Now, Calix has me on Snapchat, so my streaks have been out while I'm walking, you know. I'll post a couple stories every day. I'll try to get those up. Wet_studios. And then Thavi, community member, man, and so damn supportive. It's crazy. Around for 90% of streams, if not more. Just blessed me, man. Thavi, wish you luck, man. You don't hear me always talk like this. Obviously, sometimes we can all be little goofballs and we can all dick around, but seriously, appreciate you, man. I will never forget being able to confidently go to the doctor, confidently getting myself checked out. Sitting under that MRI machine would have never happened, and getting diagnosed with what I got diagnosed with without you. And I appreciate it. Not just him, the rest of my community, but can't shout you all at once. I'll definitely look to shout you guys at least a person or two every day. Thank you. Seriously, thank you, man. Speaking of health-wise, I might as well talk about it. So again, because this is for the baseline and stuff. So I was diagnosed with a sinus disease, and it seems to be what caused everything. No fucking promises, but the doctor's assuming we didn't have an official like determination that that's what did things, but we did officially get diagnosed with a sinus disease. And so there's a reason I didn't bring it really up. That's because it sounds a little worse than it is, A, and B, for something that's not like actively risking my life and preventing me from doing anything, I don't feel like it's right to really talk about it. I don't know the exact term, the exact quote-unquote disease name, but it's chronic sinus disease, primarily up in my top left temple, where I was feeling my artery just fucking pumping and pumping and pumping. And when my event happened, it was right there. So the assumption is, because my sinuses are so inflamed, you could practically feel it through my skull/face. It was pushing against that artery or blood vessel and caused whatever to happen. The actual treatment really was just antibiotics for now. If it becomes inflamed again to the point it was, especially before, it'll likely be steroids, nasal steroids, or more extreme surgery. When they did the MRI, they didn't seemingly find a growth, which can happen inside of your sinuses, which is really unfortunate and sounds terrible, but thankfully they didn't see anything like that. But it hasn't seemingly negatively impacted me in any way other than that. It explained why. It explained a couple things about my sinus tract in general in my life. I've never been really one to have allergies, but they're anything like really warm, and when I talk a lot and stuff like that, I can definitely, like, my sinuses clear themselves out pretty hard. It's kind of gross or whatever, but I definitely, when I talk a fuck ton, I definitely get it. There's like a buildup or something. I don't know. Maybe that also just happens to people in general. I don't know. I also do have a deviated septum, which no, isn't drastic either. You don't know what that is. This is essentially at the top of my nose, like the inside of my nose. It's not exactly like fully straight or open. And so, like, technically a breathe right strip, you know, could help me out a little bit more. And I'll admit, if you have any problems like that, do recommend trying out the Breathe Right strips. You can get them really cheap. Obviously, that's another expense to add, but you can get them really cheap, or you can, there's actually like magnet ones out there now, where you like put the magnetic strip over your nose, and the magnets like pull up on your nose instead of the Band-Aid looking thing. Anyways, maybe try it out. Sure, there's maybe even more permanent options. I don't know. I haven't looked really too much into it. But anyways, there's my diagnosis. I'm fine. But when I say I maybe had like a minor stroke or something like that, unfortunately that is potentially real. He said that could explain a large chunk of what happened. But there's no signs of stroke after the MRI. But we're also talking, I didn't do a contrast MRI, A, and B, I didn't, it was months later. So that's kind of a self-diagnosis. We didn't fully determine what actually happened, because without the idea of inflammation pushing on the artery, there's only so much confirmation. We don't actually know, but I feel fine now. And typically most days I don't feel my heart anymore. Most days I don't typically feel the top left of my head. I'll admit, whether I'm supposed to or not, I did keep some of those antibiotics around, and there has been a day since I had to use one, and he told me they're literally the most powerful antibiotics pretty much you can get without switching to a different one. We got the highest dosage of a particular antibiotic, and as a person that never really takes meds, it's kind of interesting to see these horse tranquilizer pills. They're fucking huge, but it seemingly helped. Could be coincidence, but when I had COVID recently, a couple weeks ago, my nasal tract just got terrible again. I would feel it a little bit in my head, but it was just real. It was very similar, reminiscent of what was going on before. It's crazy. But so there you go. There's my health diagnosis. Nothing new happened. So it's not the reason I'm not walking. And for those who do care, that's what I was diagnosed with. I'll admit, by the way, MRIs suck. Some people will tell you they ain't that bad, and they aren't that bad once you're through it, but dude, you sit in that fucking machine for like 20 fucking minutes. If you're claustrophobic, by the way, whoo, you are not gonna like that. I'll admit, the first like 2 minutes, I started to panic. I don't think I actually have claustrophobia. I might, but maybe mild, I guess. That first minute or two, getting in the machine, you're in this fucking tube, man. I won't lie to you. You're in this fucking tube, and apparently different MRI machines are a little louder than others. According to what I've heard, mine really wasn't that bad, but I know there's one in a town that I would go to, that hospital maybe. Definitely could have been another situation where I could have been there. Well, that one apparently is real damn loud. They said even through the music and stuff, that one was loud. The lady forgot to plug in my headphones, so I didn't, the nurse or whoever it was, I don't know, assistant or whatever, forgot to plug in the headphones, and I didn't get music, which by the way, I think that would help quite a bit, but oh well. But even with that, like I could hear it, trust me. But it was like a light knocking, and it wasn't like a loud, yam, or like, I keep saying yammering, but it wasn't like a loud banging or anything. I felt it in my hands a lot too. That was like the first area, because the MRI machine is essentially like a big magnet, right? Which I'm sure a lot of you know. But you can actually like feel kind of your blood like pulling up, and you get like pins and needles and stuff. It really wasn't that bad, but you definitely feel it, and it feels uncomfortable. You also want to move while you're in there, because your head's like in this fucking like, when I say cage, it sounds scarier than it is, but you have like this brace essentially kind of around your head, because you're not supposed to move. That was the primary area they wanted to look at too, so whatever. But everything else came back good. It was the MRI that ended up diagnosing it. Nothing got diagnosed before that. But hopefully the audio still sounds fine. Having a great walk. We're actually keeping really good pace again. Let's see here. It's 6:07 in the morning. It's 74 degrees outside with real feel 74. It's supposed to only be 76 around 8 this time and not 81. So I'm not super worried if I go all 6 miles. But our pace, let's see here. Not, like I said, I'm not too worried about pace. But for a walk, 19 minutes ain't too bad for a walk. It's not terrible. Not the best, not the worst. Seen a lot of cardinals out. What I'm looking forward to today, so I'm hoping to see the deer again. I have been seeing this doe. I think it's the same damn doe every time. But I've been seeing this doe around here every day but one day. Kind of like to see her again. That's kind of cool. With the humidity, by the way, I am seeing mosquitoes and a couple bugs out. We are in the woods. We're really not too bad. I am worried maybe with all this rain that we're supposed to get, which if you don't know, by the way, a good chunk of Wisconsin and a lot of the Midwest is supposed to get absolutely just bombarded with rain and potentially scary weather, but we'll see what happens, of course. We'll just pray and keep her moving. Morning. I'm going to take a photo of this bridge because yesterday I was talking about it on stream, but this bridge here was kind of where the swamp area was. I'll probably post this on Twitter. So you're about to hear the process of me taking this photo, which will be me still moving through it, so I'm not really that worried about it, but yep. Photo taken, looks good enough. Perfect. Get my streaks out maybe real quick. Oh, so in terms of more who I am or how I feel or what's going on, I'm in this weird place in my life right now where I'm still determining what I'm supposed to do. And I'll probably be like that all my whole life because I don't feel like I'm a very long-term planner, which I don't personally think is a bad thing. There's some cons by it, but so far that one of the longest things, consistent things I've ever done is streaming. It feels right, but some days I have to debate. You know, I won't lie to you guys. I've considered getting a part-time or even just pulling back or entirely shifting or changing, and there's a lot of things you consider. Sure, we've all been there in our lives. That's kind of where my mindset's at right now, though, where it feels right now. It feels right to be streaming. It feels right to be doing content, but I need something to stick and really make me feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So something I've been doing a lot lately is playing Minecraft. That feels good. That feels right. I've really been enjoying our server. Maybe seen some of the posts on Twitter. One of my favorite things is just doing those buildings, which worst case scenario, some of those buildings have taken a little over an hour, 2 hours, but it feels good to build something like that and just feel happy with it. I don't know. It's such a small thing, but it feels right. Content-wise, I shift every day. Everyone changes every day in their content and how they feel. But I don't know. I know League is pretty polarizing. I feel like a lot of you come to just listen to me and see who I am, and I appreciate that. I appreciate also those who come for gameplay, which I know there is a few people. VTubers and gameplay are not exactly the most synonymous set of words, but whatever. I do enjoy what I do. And to segue with that, Again, please post your topics in the Discord, opinions, comments, whatever you want me to do. You can also put it down below. I think these will be going up on YouTube. If I really have some interesting moments, maybe I can put them on short form. But I think these will be going up on YouTube. And if you want to comment there too, that's absolutely fine. If you made it this far, by the way, you can do me a favor in the comments. Type bread. I'd appreciate that. BREAD. I'd appreciate that. Just to see you guys kind of made it through and or skimmed it perfectly right. I'd appreciate it. I will maybe, if I'm willing to sit myself down and do it, I'd really like to do those YouTube separators. Those like chapter separators. I don't know what they're actually called. But like, oh, this is the topic he was talking about. And you maybe skip through that. A lot of these topics are kind of mushy and all over the place, but it'd be kind of nice. We're probably going to do the whole 6 miles, because I'm seeing the kind of the end signifier of that. I'm really not that far away. Probably about half a mile. Really not that bad. Transparency in my community and my personality, I feel like are actually kind of high for a VTuber. Now there's content creators that are literally like so open, you know the fucking street they live on, but not that crazy, but so like these talks I think are another in for me to just kind of talk about my feelings and emotions and mental status and even physical status pretty conveniently, but also like safely. It doesn't hurt my streaming stuff where I'm sitting there yammering and yapping about, oh yeah man, love sustainability, love weight loss, fucking life's good, all that shit, Don't get me wrong. I hope that is important information to some of you, but at the same time, man, me playing Minecraft and building a bee barn doesn't feel like the appropriate time to do that. Me podcasting on a walk by myself, and when I say by myself, I mean I've seen like maybe 10 people today. I'm not really, I feel like it's a good time. And the transparency thing, like, I want to be a human being. I want to be a content creator who is a human being, but I want to be a human being. And I know Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning have talked about this, where they really enjoy doing their morning show. They also really enjoy doing their podcast. And that's where I've listened to some of it, and I've seen them legitimately talk about how they'll save things to talk to each other about for that podcast. Emotions even about something. Maybe even like being peeved about something and being open with the other person because they've been friends for fucking 30 years or more or whatever. Since first grade, I think, if I remember correctly. And having that, I'm not in that same boat, but having that connection point, and like I guess similarity and I don't know, some sort of metaphor there, is pretty refreshing. Pretty refreshing. You're gonna hear me fucking yap about some dumb shit. You're not gonna agree with everything I say. I hope there's nothing disagreeable in this one, but maybe there is. You know what? That's fine. I might be wrong. I easily could be. But that's where we can all grow as people. I can maybe get you through your day a little bit. Or maybe your work day won't be as boring. Or your hard day turns into kind of just listen to me. I don't care. Whatever. I'll admit, I've said this kind of before, but as long as there's literally one person listening, and I know someone's willing to be there for this, all I need. Never been someone that super cares about numbers. I mean, I enjoy, obviously having what I have. I'm coming really close on a big milestone, but it's all temporary. If you don't have people that don't enjoy you, respect you, or genuinely like your content. I'm tying my shoe. I made it to the end. We will be doing 6 miles today, minimum. But like, seeing like you guys even vote in that poll, even if you guys don't actually truly stop in and listen, and especially like listen to all of this. I mean, I can't realistically say my favorite content creators doing these big long talks and stuff I'd be super interested in either. But the fact that guys you even voted in that, and no one so far just put a solid no. And by the way, if you do, that's fine. That's fine, man. I would rather have the honesty. That's why I put the secondary option of no if unedited. A couple people did that one. I'm super okay with that. I'm super 100% okay with that. I want you to be realistic. I don't need to be buttered up and have smoke blowing up my ass. I don't have some sort of poll to bring in thousands and thousands of people to listen to this. I don't need that. I just want to know that, so maybe get to some of you. Whatever you believe in, big or small, important or unimportant, I hope this helps. Or if it doesn't help, at least it's just entertainment, I really should probably specify that when I mean help, I think of entertainment and something to distract you as a beneficial thing. Now, that's obviously like everything in life that has exceptions, but I don't think me doing this is going to hurt anyone. It might eat my words later, but I had to be really talking about something interesting. Microphone plans and audio and stuff. So I've listened to a lot of this audio back, not this walk, but the other walks. And it's not the best, but it's not terrible. Full story is like a $20, I don't know, I think it's like $23 after taxes or something. Lapel mic for my phone. It's got a receiver strapped to my chest, stuff like that. Well, presuming this actually takes off, and not in like a view or listens take off, but in like I feel really solid about it. Well, whether it's I or community member or whatever, I would probably like to switch to a Rode mic. Those are like considered definitely one of the best for doing something like this. There's probably off-brand stuff. Maybe I'll have to look into that. If you care, it'll probably be on my throne. I mean, these things are like $100, $200, which isn't like the craziest thing ever, but that's a big ass. So I just mean like, that's where I'm at, where if it becomes reasonable enough for me, or whatever happens, that's the next steps. This little lapel mic being $22 or whatever. Shout out to those who have subbed and given bits and stuff. And you're 90% of my income. Thank you. Yeah, put shit back into the community, I promise. Most of my money goes to a car bill, keep me alive, and then stream stuff. And yes, I'm going to consider game stream stuff though. Hey, no. But, you know. That's where I'm at. Hopefully this is not unbearable though. Those Rode mics though, like I said, are pretty good. A lot of even like massive content creators, when they're doing something where they're standing up, they're using something like that. And so you can get a little more expensive and have better battery packs and better mics and stuff, but usually it's pretty damn reasonable. The wind is the biggest thing I'm noticing on this thing. the audio changes a little bit because it's like technically moving around, and obviously like I'm moving my head and stuff. I'm looking to the right, I'm looking to the left. Like it does change, and that's probably technically gonna always happen, but that's something I noticed with this one. Being a $22 microphone with a receiver, I'm not exactly upset that it sounds like this. I'm pretty impressed, if anything. Current plan then after we do the walk here is I think I'm going to force myself to sit down and cut up what needs to be cut up out of this. I'm not going to do like editing per se, I don't think, but I'm going to cut it up at least so the big periods of time of quietness are gone. If you've heard periods of quietness, understand that well, one, I want to go to bed, and two, I feel like it's kind of hit or miss in terms of personality, what you like. Some people do like the idea of just being full raw dog natural, leaving everything in. I think it's more consumable, and I think most people would like this, but more consumable if you really cut it up and just get the meat of it. But at the same time, this isn't exactly my only content, and it's not the most important thing, but it's there. It's not hard to edit things up like that, but it's time consuming. Definitely time consuming. And when you have an hour or two of recordings, you know. Morning again. But going through an hour or two of audio, so I'm gonna have to skim it. What I'll do, what I'm thinking is Google Pixel and Google in general has a really good recording app where they actually transcript a lot of it. Now, I don't quite know if transcripting a big podcast where there's going to be no visuals really needs a reason for captions, but I guess if I can auto do it, I would. But if that's not an auto thing, I'm not going to worry about that. But they got a good system where you do have a whole audio bar. You definitely like see your sound levels and stuff. And if I'm able to translate that over, I think that'll be like perfect. But it's also a really convenient way to like see the big quiet points when, you know, the audio levels are practically zero. I'm clearly not yapping, or something bad happened with my tech. But yeah, I'll probably snip it up. I know that some of the other walks, I've had a thing where I had to like in my head like cut things out because I like would repeat myself, or there was a topic I was actually talking about, and I will get to that in a minute here. But there's a topic I was talking about where, dude, I kept stumbling over myself because it's something I struggle with, and like making the right analogy or metaphor just wasn't happening. And again, it's something I struggle with, so it doesn't make it easy. But the thing I was struggling with, and the topic I'm referring to, it's like self-doubt. And I already kind of mentioned on this walk, but self-doubt's really tough to get rid of. And I don't think you can ever like fully get rid of it. And I think if you do, you actually might go in the opposite direction of like egotistic or narcissistic if you're like fully able to get rid of it, but maybe not. I don't know. Just because you're a confident person doesn't mean you're an asshole. Well, asshole or egotistic, but like you need to obviously like be aware of your strengths and weaknesses. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and when your mind and body tell you you're not good at something, you know, or you're not going to be able to do something, or you're not good enough, or whatever, well, just all of a sudden telling your brain, listen, motherfucker, I am, isn't exactly easy, and I get that. Same thing with like the prison idea before, where like your mind can be a prison. Well, if your mind just keeps telling you you're not worth something, or if you're a bad person, or it tells you you're a bad person, or whatever the situation is. It's really tough to get rid of that, but something I was kind of talking about is like, no person's ever going to be perfect. None of you are ever going to be perfect. You can be damn close, but there's always something to work on, and that's just humanity. But in terms of self-doubt, and why I think it's important, is every single person makes mistakes. Oh, stupid fucking things you probably heard before, but it's true. Every person makes mistakes. Every person has this life that's walking on this earth. They're all doing the same thing. They're living, they're breathing, they're eating, they're sleeping. You wouldn't see them if they weren't. It's every action after that. And some shit you can't control. A lot of you can. But the self-doubt thing, you have to just like genuinely believe, you know what? I'm dynamic. I'm a dynamic person. Morning. But you're a dynamic person who you can change things about yourself. You can change things for the better. It's tough to get through that. And again, we've all been there to some extent. But I can't be your doctor. I can't be your psychologist. I can't be your counselor. I can't be those things. But what I can say is, like, I consider everyone above neutral every time I meet someone. And obviously, stream and online personality, you know, whatever you want to determine from there. But actual person, like one-on-one IRL content, I consider everyone at least a 5.5 on a 5 to 10 scale, or 1 to 10 scale on like the determination of me liking them. And the reason that matters is I just want to go out of my way to say, I like y'all. You know, I love and respect you guys platonically, mostly, you know, of course. But like, seriously, you're probably great. And if you don't believe you are, I bet you there's something I can find. Bet you there's something I can find that fucking great about you, whether you realize it or not. Something you've done, something your personality has, something you do. I don't know. You're good. You're fine. It's a really lame thing to say, but you're fine. No reason to feel like you're lesser than anyone. We're all born into this world. And I'm not here to tell you should use excuses, but there always is that possibility that you were just dealt a really rough hand. But just because you were dealt a really rough hand, poker analogy, but doesn't mean you technically can't win. It doesn't mean you're out for the count. Still there, still kicking. You're listening to this. You're listening. I believe in you. I have no reason not to. No reason not to. Not everyone on this planet's amazing, you know, on the surface, but seriously, man, we all have something good about us. No one is a fully evil, terrible individual or worthless in some sense. No one is that way. It's hard to say it. I say I'm sorry to say it, but I'm really not. I genuinely believe everyone has good in them. Alright, I know that was no break for you guys. Pretty instant transition, but I sat down for about 10-15 minutes. Well, I sat down for about 10, then I stretched, got the lunges in, hamstring stretch, just keeping moving, Snapchatted, checked my Twitter, shared my Discord, or shared my social posts to Discord, you know, shit like that. Been pretty okay. I'm a little sore. I've kind of talked about this on stream too, but my feet have these blisters on them. And I know this is going to sound gross, sorry. Nothing's ever happened with them. They haven't, like, you know, done the icky thing, but I got these blisters on my feet that are not exactly the most ideal. From what I understand, I probably need to get new shoes, but Not super worried about it. Not super worried. Morning. Gotta get out before it's too warm. That's the thought. Yeah, I think it's supposed to hit like 91 today. Seen quite a few people now. We are getting closer to the like open part of this trail where there's actually parking spots and stuff. So it always makes sense. The last like 4-ish miles is pretty much all woods, and specifically the last 3 miles for sure, there's no parking spots. There's like genuinely at least 1.5 miles, 3 miles of just no parking spots, one bench, and just you in the woods, you in nature. I think that's one of the reasons I kind of like fall in love with this walk. One of, several, but it's cool. I know I've yapped about it before, and I'm sorry, but it makes sense why I'm starting to see more people again. Plus, it's later. It's 7:18 right now, so not too bad. What's kind of cool is actually this being my 7th day in a row and being my first release of audio. It's like I've actually done it for now a little bit. So like, one, I will say the first day or two, I especially stopped a lot more just to like check shit out. So I took like probably 10 photos. But also like, I was doing shorter walks, only the 3 mile mark, first 2 days, and just, checking it out. And it's kind of nice now, 7 days in. One, I've seen a lot of this stuff already, but two, I kind of know how to keep my pace and just relax with it. I mean, hopefully I don't sound that fucking out of breath just walking. And if I do, give me a little slack, because it's already like 77 degrees out in fucking Wisconsin. Morning.
How you doing?
Say something? Sorry.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about yourself? Getting out before the warm weather. Yeah, guy right there. I've seen him a lot. Pretty sure it's the same guy that was riding a bike. I saw him 4 times in one time. We met walking. I had already been a couple miles in. I saw him. He must have been heading, I don't know, he must have been heading to wherever his checkpoint is. I turned back around. I was headed towards the water treatment plant, and he must have went to his vehicle, because next thing you know, probably 20 minutes later, I see him biking past me. He's cooking. He's cooking. Older man. Nice guy. Asked how I was doing. We did that exchange. Probably didn't hear him, unfortunately, but said, "How you doing?" I had my earbud in, so I couldn't hear what he said, but I took it out and I asked again. Yeah, nice guy. I want to say he's at least 50s. Looking good. He's looking good. I just need to have enough energy when I get back here with my sleep being so fucked to just sit down and fucking edit this shit out. I need to get up and stop being self-conscious about like rambling too much, right? That's my biggest thing. Is I've listened back some of this audio and I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. But like, I think that's just because it's me, I think it's just because it's my own content and own voice. Quite a bit of traffic now this morning. Tuesday morning, 7:30. Makes sense. But sun's not beating out too hard. Still got the breeze. What's nice in terms of the microphone is that the breeze is like on my back. I mean, you might still hear it. I have no fucking clue, but it's nice. Nice. Something to ponder about real quick. So you can see your nose. That's crazy. Do you know that you're controlling your breathing right now automatically? Oh, wait a minute. Not anymore. Manual time. Manual breathing time. I already did my fucking wholesome garbage. About like, hey, you know, if only one person listens, you know, thanks for listening and stuff. But like, I'm coming up kind of on the end here, and I guess I just want to kind of like touch back on that. Like the whole thing about this. So I'm gonna do this regardless, but it's a great multitask and therapeutic for me, and I think realistically, it's just, I don't know, I think it just could be such a good community thing if we just kind of, I don't know, maybe I could like pick out, I don't know, it's a long enough time period that like I have to like pick multiple things out. Maybe I need to like type some of the shit into my notepad or something, like notepad the stuff and then do this. Maybe that's what I could do. This is just episode 1, so. Morning. But this is just episode 1. I'm not really that worried about it. This is kind of what you should expect. I hope a little bit better. Like, I want slightly more structure. I want slightly more engaging topics. And more like community input, but like, again, this just started, so I'm not really that worried about it. It just, I mean, I'm just saying, like, over time, I can tell a story. If there's some sort of story. Oh, I didn't even think about that. I haven't really been telling stories. I might do it. Morning. Hey, maybe I can do stories. I think that's something I could do. Not just this podcast shit or whatever, but thank you all for showing up to the community. Like being a part of it. Even if you can only lurk or show up once in a while, I seriously appreciate it. It's cool shit, man. Like, I never would have thought my life actually would be this. It's always been a dream. The dream feels a little weird. Now, you know, not that I'm here, but like, it has always been a dream. Fucking, my Twitch account is almost 14 years old. It's over 13 years old. And back then I wanted to be like a YouTuber. I learned how to edit on a definitely purchased Sony Vegas editing software. And this is fucking probably back in like 2009, 10. Long fucking time. Well, no, actually. Yeah, like maybe like 2012, 11? I don't know. Long time ago. Shit, actually, yeah, because it would be before my Twitch account. Dude, I don't know, like 15 fucking years ago. And always wanted to be a YouTuber. Thank goodness they're all gone, but some videos of me as a young lad fucking playing Minecraft. Doing like a 10-minute section with like fraps. Fucking, oh my goodness. If anyone remembers fraps, I think it's still around actually, technically, but that shit used to, dude, the amount of storage a video would take up is crazy. And you can only do like 10-minute segments or something crazy like that. Or Bandicam was another one way back in the day. That was a crazy one too. Didn't have the premium. I think you had a watermark guaranteed. Just crazy. No, it's like Bandicam fraps, Sony Vegas way back in the day. Never did any structured content. It was like Let's Play stuff because I've been good at talking and yapping for pretty much my whole life. When I say I'm good at it, I mean I'm good at producing words out of my mouth. Maybe not always the most coercive or useful, but always been good at that. I was told that I could do like some Let's Play content. Might be interesting. Thinking about maybe fucking around with some like Minecraft stuff, because that's what I've been playing a lot of. I don't know. There's a couple like things that I have like this idea, and I don't want it to be set in stone that I'm going to do it. But I have this idea, like, you know those books that are like how to do something for dumb people or something like that? Or they're basically intro books, and they're like dumbed down or whatever. I thought about doing a mini series of that, but for like shit I struggled with in Minecraft, like modded, like something I wouldn't mind doing. And I know there's already the ponder on it, and I know there's already like probably a million tutorials and stuff, but I thought it'd be kind of interesting to do, like, to create like washing stuff. Create is a mechanical mod, for those who don't know. It's kind of an immersive style. Like, you actually have to create like the cogs and water wheels and shit like that. Anyways, I thought about like creating a little, how to create washing machine for dummies. Something like that. I think that might be interesting. Tell me your thoughts. Maybe not create. I'd have to like sit down and learn the mods a little bit more, or like predetermine, like sit down there and like get in a flat world and like kind of design it up first. But it really wouldn't be that too bad, I don't think. Kind of pulling up home. I kind of started getting a second wind there. I think once I realized I can talk about stories and yammer about that. But I will talk to you guys later. I should be streaming tonight. I think I'm going to try to upload this before I go to bed. So if you listen early, yeah, I think I'll be on later. For those who don't know, I'm WetStudios, Twitch streamer primarily right now. Stream pretty much, there's about a 90% chance I'm going to be streaming every day. Usually 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Standard start time, somewhere in there. My official recommendation, until I get a schedule up and going again, is just have the event ping in my Discord. You can mute everything else but the event ping, and I will ping event ping very rarely for any other reason than starting. There is sometimes I'll do it, but 95% of the time it's for just starting stream. So appreciate you listening. Hopefully this audio is all right. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Seriously, fucking take care, all right? You're all great. You are all great. Shout out to the shout outs I did at the beginning. Shout out to my entire community. And shout out to anyone that's put up with me. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.